Hello, my name is Brian Larkin, and I'm running for City of Flint Charter Review Commission. One of the questions that's been posed to me is what makes you a good candidate for the commission? And most importantly, the number one thing that makes me a good candidate and anyone a good candidate is that I'm a concerned citizen and resident. I've been a lifelong citizen of the city of Flint. I've seen it go through its ups and downs. I'm aware of its rich history, and I'm excited about helping driving it forward towards a great opportunity. As it specifically pertains to the charter review process, I've been pretty familiar through my work experience, currently working with the Chamber of Commerce's Public Policy Committee, where I'm the Director of Public Policy, engaged very closely in both state and local policies and how they affect our city and how they help us move back in our reinvention. And prior to that, I worked for Michigan's Office of Urban and Metropolitan Initiatives. Through that office, I was working in cities Flint, Saginaw, Midland, and Bay City, and working primarily with urban issues as it relates to finding opportunities to help us advance. I worked closely with the city of Flint, looking at what are some of the opportunities since we've been in emergency receivership, what are ways to move forward. And what I realized is one of the huge obstacles was the charter, both how it was instituted locally and the perception statewide. I think changing our charter not only helps change our structure, but change the message that we send to others that we are really serious about our comeback. And I would love to be at the forefront of helping our city move in that direction. Another key issue, and it kind of talks about, so what are those messages that we want to communicate, is what type of changes can we make to really communicate those? And I think one of the key questions that you'll hear at the top of many individuals is kind of what form of governance are we going to have? Is it strong mayor or city manager? And while I think that's vitally important, I think there are plenty of other issues that need to align with that in order for us to be successful. And one of the biggest challenges is our budgeting process. As it currently states in our charter, there is specific language in the budget that states the day that the mayor must approve a budget and present it to city council, which happens to be the first Monday in May, and then the day in which the council must approve the budget as well. And that's it. We just have statements on when it needs to happen, and I think there are a lot more measures that we could have in place that align with some of the best practices that we can find throughout the nation to say, how do we start with realistic budgets? How do we move forward and give our elected officials the best, most efficient and thorough information as possible to make strong decisions? Because while we're electing them to represent us, we need to also give them all the tools that are possible to move forward and to make the best decisions. So one of the key changes I see would be to strengthen the budgeting section of our city charter, because regardless of the form of governance, we need to find an effective and efficient way to do our budgeting process. And the process, in order to really make these overall changes, when you think about electing a charter review commission, you're electing 9 people, but you're not electing 9 people to be experts. We're not coming in the room and telling you we know everything about a city charter. You're electing 9 people to come in and take as much information as possible. You're looking at experts, you're looking at best practice, you're looking at residents, you're looking at community members and institutions and stakeholders, and you're providing them opportunities to form their opinions. You're taking in all of this. You're essentially being a charter review sounding board, where you're taking all the information from everybody who's around and providing it back for them, so the people are really getting a reflective product that looks at what are the most innovative ways and strategies in which to construct our city, but also where do we have a voice and how can we move forward. So I think the best process for creating that is a very open one that provides opportunities for citizens to input, opportunities for residents to be informed, and everybody to move forward together to provide something that's really outstanding and state-of-the-art, like nothing that's been created before. And finally, if this is successful, a lot of people are saying, okay, if the city charter is created and you conduct it, what impact is that going to make? And I think one of the primary impacts is that I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to send a clear message to our state officials and our federal officials as well that we're ready to come back as a city. We're ready to open the doors for investment, because we have found sound ways to ensure that all of our elected officials will be supported, they will get the resources they need, and we're ready to move our city well forward into the advance and the reinvention of Flint. So thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to it.